There's always a doubt as to whether athletes who are fit, who work out daily, who are probably in the best of their shapes, can they develop a hernia? And there is an entity called a sports hernia. So sports hernia basically means it could be a tear or a small defect in the muscle. Now, this hernia might be in a completely different location. It need not be only in the abdominal wall. It could be even in the thigh, in some other areas. What hernias we fix are different from sports hernias. Now, sports hernias are tears in the muscle. As I said, a regular hernia is also a defect or a tear or a defect in the muscle. So if you look at it from a hernia perspective, that is also called as a hernia because it's a defect in the hole. But that does not mean that every single sports hernia requires a surgical correction to it. So sometimes sports hernias can be treated with good physiotherapy and exercises and stretching and many other aspects. But whereas an actual hernia, which we see on a day-to-day basis, is a defect in the abdominal wall musculature through which your intestines protrude. Now, what do athletes have to do to prevent hernias? Firstly, I will divide this topic into two. What do they do to prevent hernias? What do they do to prevent sports hernias per se? Sports hernias, good, strengthening and strengthening exercises of their core, of the regular joints and the muscles surrounding the joints that they use. For example, if it's a fast bowler, he needs to probably strengthen his shoulders, his hip joints, all these things. So similarly, they need to do basic exercises so that they don't develop a tear in these muscles. And of course, a good cool down is also important after a good workout that they've done. Now, whereas what does a sports person need to do to prevent regular hernias? One thing, he needs to keep his abdominal core muscles really strong and make sure that he doesn't strain too much for any of these things, or rather lift extra heavy weights in the gym sometimes can lead to a regular hernia also. So these are very, very subtle differences between sports hernias and regular hernias. But one, on a gross note, must always only think about this, that any hernia can be prevented if you keep your abdominal tone muscles in a good shape and it's perfect. Thank you.